Hi, welcome to episode 54 of the Stress Knits podcast. I am Stacy, also known as Stacy Elstone on Instagram and Stress Knits on Ravelry. You can join in the fun on our Ravelry group. There is a 50 episode giveaway, which I will be drawing for in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. Also sorry, my puppy is playing with a pretty noisy toy, but it is what's keeping her occupied at the moment. She's been very nippy in the past 30 minutes. We just went outside. She went to the bathroom, did great. But she's a little crazy. Right, Esther? Go ahead. So, sorry if that noise is annoying, but it's what's keeping her from not biting me right now, so I'm okay with it. So today is going to be a pretty short knitting segment, and then mostly stash enhancement and Rhinebeck recap. So before I get into the normal content, I just want to thank everybody that was at Rhinebeck who stopped me and said hi to me. It was so surreal, and it meant the world to me. So thank you. And thank you to all of my knitty friends just for giving me a great first Rhinebeck experience. So I'll get into more of that later. So first off, I have a finished object. You've not seen this because I started it and finished it. Well, I started it on the way to Rhinebeck and I finished it like an hour ago. So this is the Flax Light Pullover by Tin Can Knits. I knit this for my future niece or nephew who I will meet in January. My oldest sister is pregnant, and so I knit the sweater for her baby shower, which is in a week and a half. So I just love it so much. The yarn is my hand-dyed yarn, which is Stress Knits, and this is the Etchings colorway. It's just this, like my perfect dark tonal gray, and then this, it's on my favorite sock base, which is an 80/20 superwash merino nylon, and then the mint colorway is my pillow mint color, which is on my singles base, 100% superwash merino. I love it. I did the entire raglan increase to the sleeve separation in etching, did a round, and then did my mint stripe, and then every 9 rows after that. So I did the exact same thing on the sleeve so that it would match up. I haven't flocked it yet. I'm gonna wash it probably after this. But I'm really, really happy with it. So baby sweater for niece or nephew is done. So I can't wait for Kelly to see this. She has no idea that I'm knitting anything for the baby. She's probably guessed, but she has no idea, so I'm super excited. So there is that. And then I have a hoe. So I finished this sock on the way to Rhinebeck. So this is my hand-dyed yarn. Again, it is my Triflers Need Not Apply colorway. It's just this speckly goodness of pinks, purples, and reds. I haven't blocked it. Kids are getting off the school bus, so if you hear loud, and then if you hear squeaky, it's Esther. So, here, let's play fetch. Do you want to play fetch? No? Okay. So, just my basic vanilla sock, top down, 2x2 rib, reinforced heel flap, gusset, wedge toe, simple. It's my go-to for a reason. It fits me the best. I'm just really, really happy with the color. It's pretty color accurate, actually. This is the October yarn for the My Favorite Murder yarn club. I just love it so much. So there is sock number 1, and then I started sock number 2 right after that. So here's sock number 2. It has my adorable Sucre miniature charm from the Harry Potter Yarn Club from Molly of a Homespun House. The 3rd installment finally made it to me, which I'll talk about in stash enhancement. It's the adorable Happy Birthday Harry cake top, which I love. I'm knitting these on my US 1 Licca needles, which I just have to say, if you are like me and you don't like being a part of the like it crowd sometimes, or you just kind of try to resist trends because you don't want to just get into something because it's trendy, give them a try. Yes, they're a wood needle. I don't like wood needles, but they're pointy and they're slick. So I really enjoy them for those reasons. Will I buy an interchangeable set? No, because there are other interchangeable sets that I would rather have. But I think it's a really, really good needle. So just try it out. Here is the yarn in the cake. I love it. So there's that. Oh, do you want to come cuddle? Don't eat my yarn. Don't eat my legacy fiber arch. You're crazy today. Maybe you're gonna go sleep. This is Esther, if you haven't met her yet. She's getting real big. All right, babe. She's almost 4 months, so it's crazy. What else am I knitting on? Oh, and then because I was hanging out with 2 of my favorite ladies all weekend, I had to come up with a colorway just for us. It may be a regular in the shop because I really like it. I just want to make sure that they're okay with it. But I named it after us. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, it is Jacqueline of the Brooklyn Knit Folk podcast and Julie of Sweet Sparrow Yarns and the podcast. They are officially 2 of my favorite human beings. I'm so glad that we're friends. I'm so glad that we got to hang out in real life. It was just the best thing ever. So I started knitting it at Rhinebeck because I wanted them to each knit some stitches on it. So this is my Sweet Stress Folk colorway, and it is a blush pink, a mint, and a chartreuse for all of us. Chartreuse for Jacqueline, mint for me, and blush for Julie. So blading really sucks because it's a, ooh, you almost fell, babe, because it's just a dreary day. So, but that is kind of accurate. It's very, very subtle. I love it. Here it is in the cake. It's pretty color accurate. It's very hard color to read. It's like I Smell Snow, where it's just very subtle. So it's hard to photograph, but it's gorgeous. And again, I'm knitting these on US 1s, but these are my carbon needles, which I forgot how much I love. And I'm doing the Hermione's Everyday sock. So these are my best friend socks. Yeah, so there's that. And then I have one more thing to show you, which is my timber cardigan. I finally finished the, I finally finished the 1x1 twisted rib, and I'm going to start the raglan increases when I upload this. So I'm using Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, which is their worsted weight in the postcard colorway. Don't eat my yarn. Don't eat my yarn. Okay, so that's postcard. It is my favorite Brooklyn Tweed color. I see at least one more sweater of this in my future. But I finished the 1x1 twisted rib. I didn't do the full length because I'm honestly just really sick of knitting twisted rib flat. And again, it's not going to bother me once it is in the small details on the back and on the arm. It's just doing it every stitch, just a little too much for me. So, yeah. So I finally finished this, and again, I didn't do the full length because in the pattern, it kind of sticks up pretty far, or you can fold it down, and I know I wouldn't have had it up, so it'd have been folded down, and it's not a detail that really matters to me. So, oh, please don't eat me. No, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. There you go. So it wasn't a detail that really mattered to me. So I just knit it about 1.5 inches shorter than it's supposed to be. But I'm really, really happy with it. So, also, can we talk about my enamel pins? So, the beautiful Carleen, no, don't eat my fringe bag. Do you have your monkey? Did you take your monkey somewhere else? Yeah. She gifted me a bell jar enamel pin, which is just made me cry in the middle of Indie Untangled. But it is a bell jar with the phrase I am, which is a very pivotal part of the bell jar if you've ever read it. It's this little guy right here. I'm trying not to disturb Esther too much, but it's gorgeous. And then also my Woolberries enamel pin from Bethany, which I'll talk about in a little bit as well. So yes, that's all of my knitting. I'm gonna get into stash enhancement because there's quite a bit. I went on a little bit of a Voland Boone destash kick there for a little bit. I was just having a really bad day, and I was like, you know what, I really love Voland Boone, and I really like these 2 colors. Please don't do that. I really like these 2 colors, so I'm gonna see if I can find them on dstash, and I did. So, let's get you a toy. Is there a toy nearby? 1 second. Okay, there it is. I'm gonna try to keep it as less crinkly as humanly possible. So, the 2 colorways that I've loved for a really long time are Mint Julep and So Ranunculus. So I got one of each off of a dstash. And they're just gorgeous. So they'll probably be pairs of socks, or I'll put them all, because I have a few. I actually think I have the exact colors in Andrea Mowry's What the Fade. I'm not gonna knit that sweater, but I have all of them. So we'll see what happens, but I really think that I want them all to be socks because this base is just gorgeous. So there's my Voland Boone. And then, like I said earlier, the Molly of a Homespun House came from the club that I purchased for January, February, March, and you're like, Stacey, that's almost like a year ago. I know. My post office sucks sometimes. I know they have like an incredibly difficult job, but they never put the slip into my mailbox to tell me that it was at the post office, and they never came to my door. Nothing. So this package has been sent between Molly and I 3 times, and Molly has generously sent it back every time, and we've been communicating about it, and it's just super frustrating. But it finally made it to me. So, along with the super, super miniature charm, this is the colorway. It's called Make a Wish, Harry. And it's just this beautiful tonal gray with like black and green and I would say more chartreuse and like some reds. It's just a very beautiful colorway. And this is on her soft merino fingering, 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon. So I love this. I love just this blue that's in here, which you probably can't see because actually you can, but lighting is awful and I'm sorry about that. But again, it's really gross outside. And then the beautiful human being that she is, dang it, I just ripped everything, sent me 2 skeins along with it. So she sent me, also on her soft sock, the warm and toasty colorway, which I have been eyeing for a really long time, like since she dyed it. It's just the coziest color. I can't handle it. And she said fall is finally here. She has left me little messages, which I love her so much. So she sent me that, and then she sent me on her merino cashmere base, which is 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, and 10% nylon, in her Jingleberry colorway, because we all need cozy cashmere Christmas socks, which is so true, and I'm totally casting these on November 1st. It's just such a beautiful colorway. Molly, thank you so much. And she also sent me a Gilmore Girls charm that I forgot in my office. It is from her Gilmore Girls Yarn and Charm Club, and it was the Pop-Tart Dilemma, I believe is what it's called. And so it's a cup of coffee with a Pop-Tart on it. This is when Lorelai's like, I don't know if I like Pop-Tarts. And it's just a really great episode. So thank you so much, Molly. I am just... thank you. Thank you. So, there's that. And then I also purchased the enamel pin from Bethany of Woolberry Fiber. I've been wanting her yarn for a really long time, but it's just one of those things where I'm trying to buy yarn with projects in mind rather than just buying yarn that I like, so that way I use it up faster, and I just kind of know that my stash is going to be used rather than just sitting there. So she sent me the Ocean Mist colorway on her berry single base. I love this so much. Bethany, thank you so much. It's Woolberry Fiber Co. Everything she dyes is gorgeous, and her speckling is just amazing. So this will either be a part of a shawl or maybe a hat. I think this would be a really cute hat. I love it so much. It's right up my alley. So thank you, Bethany. Yeah, so that's everything I got pre-Rhinebeck. So let's move into some Rhinebeck talk. I didn't buy as much as I was expecting. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was expecting to buy like 2 sweater quantities and yeah, just a lot more yarn than I did. So day one, when Doug and I got into Kingston, we stayed right outside of Kingston. It was right about the time Needles Up was starting, so I got there about an hour after it started, which is perfect because it looked crazy and wonderful at the beginning, but again, I don't do well in crowds. So I was kind of thankful that it was more chill, and I actually got to like talk to Sue and Chelsea for a little bit, which was really, really nice, and buy some stuff. I wish I would have not panic bought stuff, and I would have taken my time because I missed some colorways that I really wanted. Like I missed Kirk. How did I miss Kirk? Yeah, so it's just one of those things that I just, just very overwhelming. So at the Legacy Fiber Arts booth, I purchased the mini skein set of the neutrals, which is Sprout, Elephant Ear, Macaroon, and Parchment, which I've always loved, and they will go so well in my granny stripe blanket, and maybe for some heels or toes. And I also purchased the Needles Up colorway on the steel toes base, which is a 75-25. It'll just be a nice little souvenir pair of socks. And then I also purchased Edward Scissorhands, because if you know me at all, gray and pink are kind of my jam, so I had to. I love it so much. So I bought from them, and then I also bought a Andre Sue knit sock blank, and it's this adorable fairy. I was between this and her bunny one, but I don't really have purple socks, and the fairies are just so cute. I don't know, because in the back of my head I was like, if I ever have a niece, I mean, I have 2 nieces, but I couldn't, like, pick one of them. So if, like, my sister Kelly has a daughter, I could always, like, frame one of these. Or if I have a daughter one day, I could frame one of these. You know, it's just one of those things. I was just like, that's super cute. So, yeah. It's on the sparkle base. Yeah. I love it so much. And just the fairy is just so cute. And the fact that she hand paints all of these on is just, it blows my mind. So from there, I headed to, well, Doug and I got dinner. And then we headed back into Kingston to Indie Untangled. And we showed up about 20 minutes after, like, general admission opened. And oh my goodness, was it crazy. I made a beeline for, are you surprised? Voland Vine Yarn, obviously. And she was, like, sold out. She might have had 15, 20 skeins, if that, on her, like, in her booth. It was nuts. But she was so amazing and gifted me a skein of her Enjoy the Silence colorway, which I love. I've knit a pair of socks out of this before, but this is also, like, her remastered version of it. And it's also back when I really didn't know how to knit socks that fit my foot. So I'm super excited to have another skein of this in my stash. So really, really excited about that. Kristen, I just love you so much. You're wonderful. I wish we could spend more time together whenever I'm in town. Yeah. So that's all I bought at Indie Untangled, which is super disappointing because there were so many booths that I wanted to hit, but I was just so overwhelmed. After I hit Voland Vine Yarn, I went to Nicole Hughlo, who I met at Rhinebeck, and she's so sweet. Yeah, I got really overwhelmed by the amount of people there, and I'm not really good at, like, pushing my way through crowds. It makes me very uncomfortable and it makes me feel really rude. So I just kind of kept stepping back and people kept, like, going in front of me, and I was like, I don't really care. It's fine. I'll just catch an update. But seeing all of her yarn in person, it was gorgeous. I'm kind of really stuck on the Shut the Front Door kit. And I really hope she releases that colorway as a standalone because it's gorgeous. Yeah, but all of her yarn is just beautiful. But while I was in that booth, I ran into Jacqueline and Julie, so that was really nice, and we just freaked out, and it was wonderful. And then I also met the grocery girls, which was just a surreal experience, and, like, getting to talk to them for a few minutes. It was amazing. So we did that. So I wish I would have been able to buy something at Nicole's booth. I wish I would have been able... The one that I'm the most heartbroken over is not getting any Tuscan knits. But again, it was just too crazy for me. So I'm going to be stalking her next update like crazy. But I did get to meet Maria, which is really cool, at Rhinebeck at the very end. We sat and knit with her for a while. She's just a great person. So I really can't wait to get some of her yarn. It's just very much my kind of colorways. Yeah, so that was Friday. And then Doug, my husband, Jacqueline, Julie, and Julie's mom went out to eat that night. That was a lot of fun. And then Saturday was Rhinebeck. So again, met up with Julie and Jacqueline because that's who I was hanging out with, which was so awesome. Jacqueline and I have very similar tastes when it comes to, like, what we wanted to knit and what we wanted to buy. So, and, like, bless her heart, she really helped me getting into the Primrose yarn booth, because that was, like, the one thing that I knew I wanted was some Primrose yarn, because I love Kelsey and I love everything she does. It's gonna be some crinkles. Put that on the ground. But I saw this colorway, both Jacqueline and I saw this colorway, and we, like, made a beeline for it. But seriously, I would not have been able to get through that booth without Jacqueline, so super excited about it. This is Primrose Yarn Company and her Adelaide singles in the Dior colorway. and I got 2 skeins. And I'm either going to knit a shawl by Melody Hoffman, who's Bee Mandarines, who I love. I'm thinking the Hollows shawl. It's this gorgeous eyelet, beautiful thing. But I've also thought about making this the body of a Sunset Highway and doing just a very like muted pink, gray, and mint. Are you surprised? Because those are my 3 favorite colors. Doing that Sunset Highway. So like doing this like my etchings colorway, maybe my pillow mint colorway. So this is gonna sit and marinate for a little bit, but I love it, and it's just the most beautiful, soft. You guys will know what I mean when I say like it's a dirty pink, right? Right? That makes sense. It's like a gray pink, and I love it. It's just a very me kind of color, but I think this might be the body of a Sunset Highway. I love it so much. And Kelsey is super nice. I love her. I'm so happy that she, like, her booth was so swamped because she deserves it so much. So there's that. And then I think I only got one more thing at Rhinebeck. Yep. And then I got a sweater quantity of wool. One of my came undone. It's fine. Yeah. So I got a sweater quantity of wool, a wash fingering in the not Pearly Muscle, in the Barn Owl colorway. Pearly Muscle is what I knit my Gable sweater out of. That's the color Jacqueline got. But yep, Barn Owl, which is just this beautiful like bluey mint gray color, which I really love, and I will show you what sweater I'm going to knit with it. So I've been lusting after my Hannah Fettig texture book that I think I got this for my birthday last year or something. Somewhere last year I got this book. I love Hannah Fettig. I think everybody knows that. I just love her very simple, streamlined stuff. But there's one cardigan in here that's out of my comfort zone a bit. One, because I think it's knit in pieces. Yeah, I think it's knit in pieces and from the bottom up, which is just not really my usual, but I love it so much. Is that really the only? Yeah. But yeah, so it's from Hannah Fettig's Texture, and it is the Eventide cardigan. So there it is. And that is what I'm going to be making with my Barn Owl. I love it so much. The other thing that I was hoping to snag was a sweater quantity of like a woolly wool, but everything that I touched was either too scratchy for me or it was a little too pricey for a sweater quantity for me. So, and then I thought about Brooklyn Tweed, and I couldn't make up my mind on what color I wanted, because remember, I wanted my Veronica and my Rowan, all of them. Also, shout out to the person who sent me Veronica. I don't know if it's okay to say your name on the podcast, but thank you so much. I need to message you because I'm just losing my head, but thank you. I'm so excited to knit it. It's crazy. So, yeah. But looking through this book today, I remembered how much I love the, where is it? The West End Cardigan. Is that the best picture of it? Yeah. So the West End Cardigan is this beautiful open cardigan with moss stitch and a cable detail around the, which is like the shawl collar. I love it. And then I remembered I have 2 skeins of Brooklyn Tweed that I got last year at the Ann Arbor Fiber Expo when I was super sad that I couldn't go to Rhinebeck. So again, it's a worsted weight sweater. Yeah, and snowbound. And I'm thinking all I need is like 6 more skeins for this to be enough for my size. So I'm thinking about just starting the sleeves and just knitting them for that cardigan. Because again, out of my comfort zone, I don't really know how to seam. I'm not really great at putting sleeves into sweaters, setting in sleeves. So we'll see what happens. But I think that's what I want this to be, is the West End. So yeah, I don't know, it's so hard because I'm just still so overwhelmed by the entire experience of Rhinebeck to really talk about it. Which you're probably like, why are you recording this then? Because I don't know, it's just one of those things. So, but again, I just want to thank every single person who came up to me. You made my day. And then I really want to thank all of my like podcaster and dyer friends who are just so welcoming to me into this community. Just seeing them in person is just always so much fun. And then the largest and most gracious thank you to Jacqueline and Julie for just being the most amazing companions for this trip. And yeah, so I am just over the moon grateful to all of you. So I love you and I thank you. And I also forgot like all of the little stitch markers and mini skeins people gave me. They're in my office, but I love them so much. You're all just so amazing and you inspire me so much. So I'm just overwhelmed. So with that, I'm going to move into shop update info stuff. Then I gotta get ready for dinner. So, I have all of my yarn in here because it's easier to transport. So I have stuff in the shop because I did a shop update before I left. And I really didn't advertise it well. Just one of those things. So I have some mini skein sets left. I have 3 more. So in the mini skein set, you will get a skein of Bell Jar, skein of Rattle, I Smell Snow, Solstice, and Sweet Disposition. They're my favorite colorways, which is why they're called the favorite minis. So each of them are 20 grams. So one set of these is the equivalent to 100 grams of yarn. Yeah, so I have those, and then I have some skeins to show you. So 2 of these are regulars and 1 of them is not. So this is INFJ, which is my Myers-Briggs type. So it is pinks and blues over-dyed with gray. And it's just this beautiful taupey gray that I really like. So there's that. And then I have some Sweet Disposition. I do have 2 different listings because this is on my squishy base, which is my MCN. But one of them came out darker than the other, so I have 2 different listings. So if you like the darker or the lighter, this is the darker. Sweet Disposition. And then Solstice, which the speckles on the skein of yarn is just great. So, and then Solstice, because the winter solstice is coming up and I'm super excited about it because it's my favorite day of the year. So, with that, I think I'm gonna wake Esther up for a second to say hi. And I mean, Esther stretches are the best, right? Hi, love. So we're gonna go hang out, right? She likes being, no? You don't wanna do that today? Okay, there you go. So we've just been cuddling all day. She's super tired. And yeah, so I'm gonna go get ready for dinner and I'm gonna upload this. I totally thought this was gonna be longer, but I'm kind of glad that it wasn't because it's always really overwhelming when they're really long. So I'm just gonna take some iced coffee. Yeah. This little nugget. I love her. Yeah, so thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you haven't, subscribe, thumbs up, comment. It gets me out there, which is always super awkward to say, but it's true. So, yeah. There's that. So, with that, I think that's it. I think I have more to say, but I don't remember it, so. So I will talk to you guys next week, most likely. And I hope you have the most wonderful rest of your week. And you knit all the things. And you get puppy snuggles or kitty snuggles. Or just people snuggles. Because it's the best. So I'll see you next time. Bye.